Today we got a review of the new Shure Aonic 50 headphones, and we'll get to it right after this introduction. Welcome, audio sorcerers, wizards, and gurus to my channel. I'm Dan Spencer, and I am the audio sorcerer. So this is a channel to teach you how to perfect your recording, mixing, and mastering skills. So in today's video, we are talking about the Shure Aonic 50 headphones, and these headphones are pretty amazing. I've got to use them for a week now, and they are active and passive. And what I mean by that is that they have a Bluetooth side, which, you know, these are wireless, so they do get powered, so you do charge them. But they also have a 1/8 inch or 3.5 millimeter input, which is a typical headphone input, which you can plug into, you know, if you have that on your phone, or plug it into your studio setup in the studio. And that's passive. That does not require your headphones to be powered. So that's pretty cool. So what I want to do first with this is just do kind of a little bit of an unboxing so you can see what's in the package here. And I do have a link below if you're interested in purchasing these. It is an affiliate link, and any money made from that is a small commission. It goes back into the channel so I can continue making this content for you. But again, that is in the description below. So let's start with a quick little unboxing of this here. So I'm going to take the lid off here. Sometimes it's hard to get off. So within the lid, you have the instruction manual. And this instruction manual is pretty basic. It just shows you what all the buttons do and basically how to pair it with your phone or an audio device. So real basic. And inside here is the meat of the packaging. This is a cool little case here that the headphones come in. It's got the Shure logo on it here. And it simply just has to be unzipped. And that's kind of what it looks like there. So the headphones have a L and an R imprinted in there, if you guys can see that. It's kind of cool, so you know which ear to put it on. I still sometimes mess that up, even with having been doing this long. So let me pull these out here. So this is kind of what they look like. Pretty basic. They're real soft on the top, which is great if you're going to be wearing these for hours, and then also really good material, real soft around the edges here. So these are meant to be worn for a long period of time. So what else comes in here is your 3.5 millimeter cable, which is for the analog input on here, which I was telling you about. So that's all ready to go. And then also you have a USB-C to USB-A cable, and this is for charging, but also for audio. You can pass audio throughout this cable. So, I mean, this is pretty much everything that comes in here, except for actually this. This is a safety manual and a little bit of information on a limited warranty. It's actually kind of big for that, and that's because there are several different languages in it. But yeah, so that is basically everything in the packaging. And one thing I kind of want to mention about these headphones that I think is fantastic, I've been got to use them for a week so far, and they have an extremely flat frequency response. And for those of us who want to mix in headphones in the studio, or at least reference our mixes, that's the kind of type of headphone we need. And I have my monitors back there in my room treated, and I use software. I use the IK Multimedia Arc 3, and I have a tutorial for that. And if you guys want to check it out, it's popping up in the top right now. Check it out after this video. So, you know, hearing my mix that I did in the room, that I know is treated properly, and then hearing these headphones, I had to make no changes. Like, everything sounded how it should in the headphones, which was fantastic. So yeah, I mean, these are great headphones. So what I really like to do throughout this tutorial is we're going to actually go into my computer, and we're going to look at the specs of these headphones. And what I mean by specs is more so on how to actually do everything. So stuff like in the user manual. And then we'll talk about some of the features in here. And then we'll also talk about the ShurePlus app, which is actually for these because you can do stuff with the app. And of course, we'll also talk about the fact that these can accept firmware updates, which is something I've been doing a firmware update to microphones and other things that you're like, whoa, this would never need a firmware update. I've been doing it for years, so I still even kind of laugh about it that, hey, you know, a microphone needs a firmware update, headphones need a firmware update. Sometimes I wish we can get people a firmware update. That'd be awesome, but that's for another time. So with that being said, why don't we go into my computer and we will check out these headphones in more detail. All right, so here we are on my computer here, and I have the Aonic 50 user manual open.
I also have a picture of the headphones open that shows all the different buttons right here that exist. And what we want to talk about first is Bluetooth pairing. So it says the headphones automatically enter pairing mode when you power them on for the first time, or when they have not been previously paired with this audio source. So the power button is right here. It's got the little power logo on it, and it's located right next to the Bluetooth logo. So in your cell phone, because that's likely what you're going to be pairing these two, you want to find Shure 50 underneath your available Bluetooth devices, and then you'll just want to pair it to that, and that will get you all ready to go. So that's pretty much automatic pairing mode. Now for manual pairing mode, you're going to want to turn off the headphones first, press and hold the power button for 6 seconds, and then when you hear Bluetooth pairing mode, release the button. So you're actually going to hear that from the headphones. And then from your audio source, select Shure 50. And then of course, when you're successfully paired, you're going to hear connected. So these headphones do talk to you. So as you see, they say Bluetooth pairing mode, they say connected, but they also say power on when you first turn them on. And they also say power off when you turn them off. So it's pretty cool. Let you know what's going on. All right, now that you know how to pair these headphones with your audio device, let's talk a little bit more about the buttons that exist on these headphones. So starting with the power button, I know we talked a little bit about it so far, but let's go over it in a little more detail. So for power on, again, we're going to hold it for 2 seconds, and then it's audibly going to say power on. And then for power off, you'll just hold that for 2 seconds, and it will also say power off. And then for pair Bluetooth, so the two different pairing modes, again, are basically when you turn the headphones on for the first time, it's automatically going to be in pairing mode. And for some reason, if it's not, or if you need to manually put into pairing mode, you're going to turn off the headphones first, and then you're going to press and hold the power button for 6 seconds. It's going to turn on, and you're going to be in pairing mode. And the last thing the power button can do is if you double press it, it's audibly going to read you the battery status of the headphones, which is really nice. So next button that I want to talk about is the center button. And if you look at the headphones over here, it is located right where my cursor is at. And the center button is really kind of the workhorse button of these headphones. So this is going to handle all of your playing of audio, going to your previous and next track. It's going to allow you to answer or decline phone calls, activate voice assistants, quite a bit of stuff. So for play and pause, you'll just press it once if you have music going. For next track, you'll double press it. For the previous track, you'll triple press it. If you're in a phone session, you will want to press it once to answer or end a call. If you want to decline a call, you need to press and hold it for 2 seconds. And if you want to activate the voice assistants, you also have to press and hold it for 2 seconds. Again, these are dependent on what's actually going on. So if you are not in a call or have a call coming in, then if you do the press and hold for 2 seconds, it's going to activate the voice assistants. So if you have a call coming in and you press and hold it for 2 seconds, it's going to decline the call and ignore the thing for voice assistants. And then you can also do a factory reset with this button. So if you turn off the headphones and plug it into a charger, and then you press and hold for 7 seconds, that will initiate the factory reset and get you all back to the beginning as if you just got the headphones. So the next buttons that I want to talk about are the side buttons, and they're located right here and right here. They are on opposite sides of the center button, and they each only have one task. So the plus button strictly raises the volume, and the minus button strictly lowers the volume. And that's all there really is to the side buttons. And then I think probably one of the most important buttons on these headphones when it comes to features is the environment mode / ANC switch. Now this switch actually has 3 positions, even though the manual only talks about 2 of them. And this switch is actually located down here. You can't see the whole thing, but it's right there. And for environment mode, if you put it in the up position, it will set it to environment mode. And for active noise cancellation, you'll want to put it in the lowest position. And if you put it in the middle, that actually is considered the neutral position, and it will ignore both of these modes. So we'll go over these different types of modes a little later on in this tutorial. So a good thing to know about any devices that you own and the odd chance that they freeze or lock up is how to do a hardware reset on them. And for these headphones, all you have to do is hold the plus and minus button at the same time, and it's going to immediately turn off the headphones. But the cool thing is that it's not going to erase any settings that you have in the headphones or any changes that you made in the app, which we haven't talked about yet. So it's just going to do basically a reboot of the device. And then when you power it back on, you should be all good to go. Now, for the LED indicator, if it's alternating red and blue, you are in Bluetooth pairing mode. If it's blue for 2 seconds, then off, Bluetooth is connected. If it's slow blinking blue, your Bluetooth connection has been lost. If it's slow blinking red, you have a low battery. And if you have it red, it is charging. So next I want to talk about the ShurePlus Play mobile listening app. And this app has quite a bit of features. So you can import or play multiple high resolution and standard file types. You can customize presets with the parametric graphic EQ. I believe it has 4 bands in it. You can adjust your volume with your full screen fader. You can create playlists and organize your music library by playlist, artist, album title, song title, genre, or composer. So you can actually put in all your music into this and create your own library. And it doesn't have to be MP3s. It can actually be like WAV or AV files. You can be listening to very high quality music in there, which is fantastic. And then lastly, you can quickly dial in your sound with EQ preset modes for a variety of listening situations. So now I want to talk about the 2 different modes that were mentioned earlier in this tutorial. So starting with environment mode, this basically allows you to attenuate the ambient noise around you. And they say this is good for if you're listening to music or if you're on a phone call and you want to be aware of the sounds around you. So this isn't actually going to cancel out noise around you. It's actually going to allow some of it in. And if you want to put it in this mode, you will put it in the most vertical position on the switch button. And what you will see when you're in environment mode within the app is you're going to see environment mode is on. Now there are 10 different positions you can move this slider to that will kind of change the environment mode, basically allowing more or less sound in. And that's pretty much all there is to environment mode. So going down to active noise cancellation, what this does is it suppresses some, if not all, the noise around you. And of course, this is extremely useful if you're on a car, bus, if you're on the metro in DC and you have a lot of noise around you, if you're on an airplane, etc. And if you want to put it in this mode, you're going to put the vertical switch into the most lowest position. And what you're going to see down here is that active noise cancellation is set to max initially, or you can put it to normal. Those are 2 different positions. And it's actually going to kind of gray out the environment mode, letting you know that you're not in it. And it's also going to say active noise cancellation is on. So those are basically the 2 different modes. They're pretty straightforward. One allows sound in, one cancels sound out. So next I want to talk about the 5 different preset modes. So we have the DS mode, which will reduce syllabants in speech. We have the flat mode, which will basically have the track be unprocessed and be the most natural sounding setting. We have loudness, which will attenuate the bass and treble frequencies to make the overall sound feel louder. I know a lot of people used to do that in their car stereo systems back in the day. They like to set it that way. That is basically the smiley face EQ. Low boost will raise or lower the bass frequencies, and vocal boost will emphasize the vocal range, which is probably the upper mids. So in closing things out here, I just want to mention firmware and the cable connections quickly here. So this is a digital and analog device. So being digital, it does accept firmware updates, which hopefully will improve it over time. I mean, it's already fantastic, but you know, they might add new features. So the firmware is actually done within the app. And when you open the app up, there's a section in there that will be related to firmware, and it will let you know if you need to do it or not. And the process is so simple. And lastly, I just want to mention the cable connections because they are in the picture over here. So first you have the USB-C, and that will allow you to charge the headphones and also connect to digital audio. So you can pass audio through this. And then you have your 3.5 millimeter audio connection right here, and that will allow you to use it in the studio. Basically, that's what I'm using it for now. And you don't have to worry about any of the settings within the app, any of these different profiles or preset modes when you're running it in analog mode, which is basically when you have this cable plugged in. So when this cable's plugged in, the app actually doesn't even see the headphones. It's basically puts the headphones in a digital bypass mode, and it says, hey, I am in analog mode, ignore everything on this side of the headphones here. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything there is to these Shure Aonic 50 headphones. They're fantastic, and they really do have a flat sound to them. So these headphones definitely get the Audio Sorcerer stamp of approval, and they are now my main studio headphones for mixing when I'm not using my studio monitors. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you learned something and you enjoy what I'm making, please subscribe and hit that notification bell to know I have new videos coming out. So with that being said, until the next video, I will see you guys later, and peace out.